Hello and welcome to this month's Parents Timeout. We are talking all about the worries that we have going on at this time of year. It is the beginning of the school year. I'm sure that you have as many worries as I do about what's coming up. And our worries tend to be kind of concentrated in a few areas. One is what's going to happen in this school year in terms of things like routines, paperwork, just the newness of it all. Whether we're actually, we actually homeschool, and I'm still feeling this at the beginning of the year. It's like autumn is a time for new routines. Whether you have a small child, a really young child, a newborn, or a toddler or something like that, and whether you have an older child or you're just starting like a daycare routine or something new in terms of school. And so that's where a lot of our worries come from. And today I really want to talk about alleviating them, these kind of procedural worries, but then also the kind of worries about things like, for example, one mom wrote to me recently and she said that regarding school, she's got a daughter transitioning from a daycare setting to a school setting, and she's worried about, quote, throwing her to the wolves. And like, what is the school year going to be like for her daughter? And when we are that worried, it's really hard to feel good. It's hard to feel anything except the worry, right? And so today I want to talk about three ways that I've thought of to help you alleviate those worries. And I'm really glad you're here so that we can talk about them. The first one is to recognize that worrying about something means, at the very least, worrying about it and then not having it happen. We've worried about it once unnecessarily. But it can also mean worrying about something twice if we worry and worry and worry and then it does happen. Well, we've unnecessarily worried about it not just once but twice. And I think it's important to know that like worrying doesn't accomplish what we think it will. And there's an expression that I absolutely love by a therapist named Elvin Semrad, and the expression is, the antidote to anxiety is action. So if the first step in this alleviating our worries is recognizing that the antidote to anxiety is action, well, then the next step is to take some action. So I'm going to ask you to focus on the biggest, scariest, hairiest, most like creeping you out, upsetting you worry that you have right now. And think about what can you do, what steps can you take? Break it down until you have a step that you can take like right now to alleviate that worry. And the example that I'm thinking of is one of our Ninja Parenting community members whose biggest worry was to have, when she's got a child transitioning from daycare to school, how does she set up, they need a new daycare situation, and how does she work that out? And so she's kind of lost a lot of sleep this summer worrying about it, and then she got the great idea to take some action and fix this for herself. And the action that she took was very simple. It's something we can all do. She started making some phone calls and finding out like what daycare settings, what other kind of situations are out there that could work. And very quickly she found one that worked perfectly. So the cool thing is that when we're sitting in this place of unknown, is that not only do, bad things sometimes happen, but more often, much more often, I would say, good things happen. We find that our problems are alleviated a lot more easily than we thought that they would be. So that's the second step, is taking some kind of action, recognizing that the antidote to anxiety is action and really taking that action. And then the third thing is to get in some self-care. I know that self-care, seeing friends, taking a walk, listening to a podcast, taking a bath, doing something that is for us, this is a very difficult time of year to think about doing that because, kids are getting back into sports and activities, and there's paperwork, and there's routines, and there's, setting the alarm and missing it, and there's all these things that matter. But self-care matters just as much, if not more. If we're not getting our good sleep, if we're not eating like in a way that supports our body, then that is, it can be devastating. It can be really, really, really trying. And so take that find a way to get some self-care into your day or week. And, again, I'm encouraging, if that's a worry of yours, oh, I'll never do that. If you're thinking that, if you're worrying about it, then try and break it down into smaller and smaller steps until you have a step you can take right now. Maybe you can put the kids to bed early and get in the bathtub and just have a quiet soak, for yourself. There's always something that we can do to alleviate our anxiety, some action that we can take. And it is not, by the way, having a drink or binge watching a favorite show. Those are actions, yes, but they're not actions that are going to help us in the short term. Like, the actions that help are things that affirm our love for ourselves, I think, and that help us feel happier and more connected. And I think in the short term you could argue that yes, a drink or something like that, or my nemesis is a jar of Nutella, like getting to the bottom of a jar of Nutella. That would be a way that I would think, well, maybe that's self-care, but I know in my heart that it isn't. And so I want you to think about that as well. Like, the self-care steps that you take have to be really positive and not numbing, like a television, binge watching some kind of show, or having a drink, or having a cigarette, or having some kind of vice kind of thing like that, which I don't want you to think about. There's no moral judgment here. It's more that these aren't things that are going to help in the long run. And the self-care is things that help in the long run. So that's what I want you to think about. And also, if you're struggling with mornings, if mornings are really on your mind, and just the chaos of them as you get into new bus routines and waking the kids up and worrying about throwing your child to the wolves, that kind of thing, join my Streamline Your Mornings 5-day free challenge, which starts on September the 4th, Monday, September the 4th, and goes until that Friday, September the 8th. It's going to be every day an email in your inbox with some small step that you can take to streamline your mornings and make things better in your home during these crazy back-to-school mornings. So that's happening. The other thing that gets you is entry into our secret Facebook group, private Facebook group. It's the We Turned Out Okay Facebook group. And on the Friday, we're going to be posting in there every day of the challenge, but on the Friday, you will have access to the Facebook Live Back to School Ask Me Anything. I'm going to be hanging out on Facebook for some time during that Friday, and you'll be able to come in and ask your questions and listen to that and watch that. And that's all taking place during the Streamline Your Mornings challenge. If this is after September the 3rd, Sunday, September the 3rd, you can still jump on a wait list, because this isn't going to be the only time I do this challenge. I'm going to offer it again real soon. So even if it's after, even if you've missed your chance to get into this one, you can always jump into the next one. And for all of that, for signing up for the wait list or to get on into the challenge itself, if it's Sunday the 3rd of September 2017 or before, then go to WeTurnedOutOK.com. And in the sidebar, I've got a cute little picture about streamlining your mornings. You can join the challenge there, or you can look in the show notes for each podcast episode, and that shows up right on the front page, so you don't have to look too far for it. And I really hope you'll join that challenge. I also really hope that you've gotten something out of today's video. We have these worries, and we can do something about them. And I really hope you'll join me in just taking a small step, just doing something really small, getting some kind of self-care for yourself, solving your biggest and scariest problem. And if you can do that, you're making things better for your mornings, for your family, for yourself. And I hope you do that. All right, I'll see you in September for next month's We Turns Out Okay Parents Time Out. And for all of this, I'm Karen Locke-Culp, wishing you well. See you soon. Bye.